right now.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it'll be hard. I don't think they're even gonna get close to that 20 million. I think they're gonna get closer to 10. We're live. I think we'll get closer to 10 in the first year. I don't know. I
First
gotta
year,
Google that.
I don't know, man. I think that thing's gonna sell like hotcakes. Especially if not in our part of the world, especially overseas. Turn this guy's stream on. Got the Assassin's Creed stuff going on.
Oh wait, yeah. So Switch sold.
You
Oh,
haven't
that's
got the
cool.
other character, right?
No.
Yeah, I did. I played as both of them. I enjoy her more than I do him.
I don't know. Google AI is telling me it sold 14 million units, but
In the first year.
that's what it's saying. But then there's other numbers here. There's a
Uh,
fucking article in here somewhere.
there's probably better people to ask than Google, but
Well, we don't have these other people.
no, but a couple of quick DMs would probably tell us better numbers.
Who? Who should we DM?
Oh, probably David or William.
They're sleeping right now.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe
16 hours. So what's 7 plus 7? 12. 30,
just because the
48,
hours don't
7,
mean
8, 9,
nothing.
10, 11. So
Them
it's 12.
them dudes are crazy.
Yeah, it's noon. Well, David works a regular job. So yeah, it's 12 over there. I don't see that. Another one says, oh no, no, that's 9 million.
Let's see here.
So Business Insider says Nintendo's first Switch sales numbers are out, and it's all good news. Nintendo new Switch consoles sold out at many stores. Okay, Nintendo says Switch is the fastest selling console in history. Nintendo Switch system sold more than 906,000 units in March. So they were selling about a million units per year. So yeah, sounds about right. 14 million. Breath of the Wild
Yeah,
was
well, you also have to look at the fact that they had the failure of the Nintendo
yeah.
Wii U on its doorstep, and people are clamoring for a new console that wasn't a Nintendo Wii U. So that drove, and I think the same thing is going to drive with the Switch 2 or the Switch 1 going into Switch 2 is that it is an underpowered machine. And this, granted, the Switch 2 is going to be an underpowered machine as soon as it's already right there, but especially at launch, it's underpowered. I mean, it's basically sitting there with the PS4. I would say PS4 Pro, roughly, as far as graphics and performance wise.
Well, not just that,
More in line with actually the One X.
the Switch backwards compatible. Oh, you're only
Yeah,
gaining the features that are new. It's not gonna really change your whole. It's not going from PS4 to PS5. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So that's the way that I see it. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, it's a new gadget, which is I like that it's new, but it's like it does the same shit my Switch does, except for frame rate,
looks
fidelity.
better. It runs better. It's got different features.
It still has
It's a
the same
good
cartoon shit, so it's gonna look good no matter what.
it's a good step up. It's not some half-ass stepped up as far as I'm concerned.
Not for $150 in my opinion.
Oh,
$100, yeah.
you're just mad.
I'm not mad. I'm not even their consumer.
You're angry.
Nintendo can fucking burn and die, and I wouldn't shed a tear, even though they were my
if
first.
if their console fails, yeah, they will burn and die.
That's not gonna fail.
Yeah, it's all to the consumers. If it's a bad idea across the board as far as everything is concerned, if it's a bad idea and people don't like it, it will not sell.
Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders have sold out instantly at two major UK retailers.
Mm. So that's all that needs to be said. It's a bad idea, it won't sell. But if it's selling, whether that be bots or actually real people, it's looking like it's probably gonna work out for them.
I mean but let's be real. When's the fucking last time the consumers even make a good fucking decision? Cause customers are fucking stupid. We see that all the fucking time. They buy fucking stupid games that aren't built properly, that are not optimized, that are built on the wrong fucking engine because they can't fucking hold their nut in and they just have to fucking have it. And then when they get it, they realize that they could have fucking waited and they wasted their fucking money and then they put the fucking game down and they're waiting for an update that may never fucking come. Well, guess what? They already got your fucking money, you fuck. You need to fucking
You,
do all that shit before you buy it, not after you fucking buy it, you fucking retard.
you know what that is?
And I'm guilty of
Is
that. I'm not
that is
accusing.
brilliant marketing.
No, it's not brilliant marketing. It's fucking
It is
assholes who can't control themselves.
it is brilliant marketing
That
because
shit
they
doesn't
got
happen with
your money.
cars. It doesn't happen with anything else. And their marketing is way better. I mean, what's video game marketing? Fucking a trailer 3 months out, a story trailer, then a fucking gameplay trailer, and then bam, game's fucking out. And then fucking
But
leaks for 5 years. It's
you're
the
you're
length of
talking
time.
you're talking about a $70 game or a $500 console compared to a 20 to 70 $80,000 vehicle.
Okay, movies. The same shit.
Movies?
Movies.
What about movies?
The same shit. People fucking go see something that they know is not gonna be good because of whatever reason, the experience.
I
Their
don't go
kid
to
is nagging them.
I don't go see movies no more.
Yeah, but you
I
don't, but other people do.
I haven't seen a movie in a theater since like probably before COVID.
That's because you're the Antichrist.
I wait for that shit to go on a subscription or I rent it off
I
of
don't even
YouTube.
watch movies.
Uh, if it's important enough and I want to watch it, yeah, I'll throw out $4 for a rental one night. But no, I'm not gonna go and waste my time at a theater,
I'm
especially
going to the
buying
theater Saturday.
$16 popcorn and $18 sodas and eight
It's not
dollar candies.
$18. It's fucking
Yeah.
like $6 for a soda.
Well, by the time that I get my freaking credit card bill in the mail, yeah, it is.
Oh, see, why use your credit card? Why the fuck you do that? You just
Treat
fucking fake
myself.
cash. Yeah, you treat yourself with high interest.
Yeah, my interest is all right.
20% is not bad. 20% of a dollar is only 20 cents. I can swing that.
Yeah, why do today what you could do tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know money like that existed till I got in the car business. When you see these motherfuckers come in and fucking, they go, how much the car? All 30 grand. Yeah, we'll pay cash. Like, yo, what? What did you say? Come again?
I
Some
love
people
the
got
guys.
it.
Love the guys that come in there and they got their taxes, you know, the tax refund fresh off the IRS, and you know they're coming in there buying a $40,000 vehicle, and then that shit's getting repoed like 2 months later.
Yeah, happens a lot
That
too.
just freaking just oh it makes me giggle. I love watching those videos. Oh, anyways, so the Switch 2. Did you like the show?
Yeah, the show was good.
it was nonstop. I mean, not everything there, was great as far as like I was interested, but there was really very minimal like low points in the game in the game reveals.
Okay, so you're saying that because you weren't attracted to every single game that they showed.
Not every game that they showed that I was interested in. No.
Yeah, that's the question. So therefore, those points were slow to you.
No, they were slow, but they still entertaining? Yes. As somebody that was I would put myself in the shoes of like a Nintendo only fan or a Nintendo fanboy or whatever.
If you're a Nintendo
You
only
know,
fan, you're gay
like you're
or a
yeah,
woman or a
that's
child.
the only console that you have, like a Switch One. That's the only console you have, and that's the only console you've been playing on for 8 years. I would see it as a good show. Like you got a lot of shit coming in, especially when it comes to third party.
Well, somebody left
Uh,
once I said that.
yeah, well, they'll get over it. But I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was probably one of Nintendo's better shows, and that's good because they're showing a new console. So I would hope that it would be one of the better shows and not that half-ass shit they put out last week.
I don't watch no Nintendo shows. This is the first one I've seen in ever, I think.
I barely do either because I'm not a Nintendo person, but I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it because I was more interested in see what the hardware had to you know provide as far as its features, its mouse controls, and its FPS and resolution and all that. I wanted to see more about the actual console itself, more so than the games it was going to have first party or third party. That was just that was more of the games that they shown and the partnerships that they made. That was more of the cherry on top, and it was a big ass cherry. I mean, you got stuff running on there like Elden Ring, which I mean, let's not get it twisted. Elden Ring is not going to run like it would run on consoles, or it's going to run on PC graphically or performance wise. It's just not going to do that on the Switch 2. But to be able to have a mobile form of Elden Ring or Cyberpunk or something like that on the go, that's a nice touch. They even had what was it, Star Wars Outlaws on there from Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had a
I
lot
mean,
of stuff.
that's a good part. Uh, they had stuff there like Metroid and the Mario Kart, Forza clone thing going on. What do you think about the mouse controls that they introduced?
Expensive?
Expensive
Yep. They cost too much.
as far as the Joy Cons?
Mm-hmm.
I see. I've not even seen any of that pricing as far as
$90.
how much the Joy Cons. Nah. Do they have
Wait,
Hollow
no,
Effect
$80.
joysticks?
Hollow effect? What do you mean?
So instead of like normal Joy Cons, like joysticks, like what we have in our PS5 and our Xbox controllers, they have like rubber bands and all that operation. Hollow Effect joysticks are magnetically controlled, so the ability to have uh, stick drift after some wear and tear is basically non-existent.
Does it sound like Nintendo will put something like that in there?
At the price that they announced today, I kind of had my doubts because Hollow Effect joysticks
Fuck
are
no.
expensive.
Fuck no.
Because
They're gonna fucking milk the accessory sales for fucking ever.
they're you have to find a company that's mass producing hollow effect joysticks.
These people are never gonna do something that's convenient for you if they can't monetize it. They're gonna do the shit that's gonna make you spend the most money over the long run. If they can get you buying new Joy-Cons every year, that's what the fuck they're gonna do. And not for color purposes, but just even repairs. They don't give a fuck. They hate us. They just want to milk us. We're cattle. You know what I mean? They want to fucking kill us, cut our necks, bleed us out, cut us into steaks, fucking repeat process till they're nice and fat.
Yep. Hey, there's Henry. He said he'll be in here in 15. So, well, shit. I'm gonna wait for Henry before I ask this question because I know this is really gonna get your shit in a twist. Uh, oh yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this,
It's gonna get your
or
shit a
where my
twist.
mind.
But
What'd
look,
you
I like the what's up, Michael? How you doing? I like the look, man. I like the Switch 2. I think it's a very nice upgrade to the Switch 1. It's a phenomenal upgrade. I actually think the pricing is fair on that thing. I mean, well, let me take that back. I don't want to say it's fair. I think that Nintendo could have went a little bit cheaper, but why would they, right? So we have a combination of we're doing it because we can, and we're doing it because we proved ourselves. And that's okay. If you fucking hit, 70 home runs in a season, I expect for you to demand top salary for the next season. You know what I mean? You deserved
Mhm.
it. But the thing with Nintendo is that it's never just that cut and dry. Like, Nintendo is a fucking company where they have a success one gen, the next gen it fucking fails. Then they have another success, and then it fucking fails. So after the Switch 1, logically you would think, well, it's gonna continue with success because it's the Switch. But then you but then you have shit like $80 games, $90 if you want physical. And you just like, okay, way to ruin the fucking mood here. It's like the girl that's hot, you finally get her to your fucking house, like she's digging you and shit. Like you guys are having great conversation. She finally gets close to you and you find out her breath fucking stinks. You're like, oh fuck. Like I'm still gonna fuck her, but like it's not gonna be as good as I thought it was gonna be. You know what I
So
mean?
you're pulling like paper ball and dingle or paper toilet paper and dingleberries out.
Yes, the
Yeah.
fucking pain in the dick, and I, yeah, exactly, Michael. What a day for Nintendo. Um, but we're gonna get into all that for a little bit. Me and RPG are kind of shooting the shit. Well, RPG was running the podcast for the last 20 minutes, fucking asking me questions, interviewing me, which I
Fucking
appreciate.
somebody has to.
Well, you're fucking. Where's Nelson? Is Nelson here? Oh man, I don't want to talk shit about Nelson. He's not here. But fucking
Yeah.
Nelson never does that. It's like fuck,
He's being
dude.
a he's being a JJ.
He's being a big for JJ. But yeah, I have pricing here for all the accessories available for the Switch. I have some reactions that I won't like play it for you guys, but I'll definitely go over it with you guys because that's what I did today at work, all day today, just listening. Because I'm not a Nintendo guy. RPG's not really a Nintendo guy. His significant other is. My son used to be. But we for some reason we all own fucking Switches. Explain that. Ain't nobody in this fucking podcast a Switch person, but yet every fucking body owns the Switch, right? And that's something to be said about Nintendo. It's like fuck, man. None of us are Switch gamers, but we all own a Switch, and not just own a Switch. A lot of us own multiple Switches, right? Where a lot of us are hardcore PlayStation gamers, hardcore Xbox gamers, but we only have one Xbox. We got one PS5, right? So it's like, how the fuck is Nintendo getting away with this? So we're gonna get into that. I think I have a theory of why that's happening. I also had a discussion with Warwana today about it as well, and me and him brought up some good points that I want to share with you guys. Right now we have RPG here. Thanks for those of you guys that are here today. And Michael, I really appreciate you being here, man. I really do. Let's see who else we have here because my chat kind of went away a little bit. Okay, just Michael chatting. But I appreciate you, Michael. You're one of my OG fucking subscribers, bro. I really do appreciate you, and thank you for being here. Everybody else is kicking it at different podcasts and shit like that, which is fine. But we're gonna get into it. We're waiting on Henry to hop in. We're gonna get the conversation started. Well, we've been talking, but Henry should be in the next 10 minutes or so, and we'll get hot and heavy. So I kind of been saving a lot of pent up explosiveness for that. But RPG, you already talked about how you liked the showcase itself. Let me ask you, in the very beginning, when they started off with Mario Kart, do you think that was a good way to start the showcase, going into detail with Mario Kart, going into detail on how the Switch 2 works with the game, or do you think they should have done it differently?
No, I mean start your show off with a banger. I mean we knew a new Mario Kart of some kind was coming out. We were all thinking that it was going to be Mario Kart 9, which basically this is essentially is Mario Kart 9, but they've changed up the formula a little bit and they've made it now Mario Kart Worlds, which is kind of in that Forza Horizon lane where you can just kind of drive all over the map and hit different things, this and that. So with it being especially with it being a Switch 2 exclusive game, I think it was a good start off, good send off, and before you started everything else.
Yeah.
As far as them leading into the Switch 2 specs and what it can do, I thought it was a fire out of the cannon instead of like
What's up, gays?
What up,
we're
gamer?
we're gonna make this game. We're gonna bring this game out. Oh yeah, it's gonna be like this old ass game. It's gonna be a remake. That would be a horrible start to the show.
Well, let me tell you what I think, and then we'll pass it on to Henry. I'll ask Henry the question, because for me, like for example, when I buy furniture at IKEA or something like that, and I bring it home, or if I order something and I get home where it's assembled, what I like to do is I like to open up everything, right? And then I like to put everything in piles. And then I like to look at the instructions and verify that everything I was supposed to get, I have. So if it says I'm supposed to have 8 screws B's, I make sure I count them out. 10 fucking washers of C, I like to count them out. If it says I need a screwdriver, a flathead, and whatever, I like to make sure I got those. And I lay everything out in front of me. I read the first part of the instructions all the way to like the third or fourth part, so I know what's going to be happening next, right? Because we all come across a situation where we did something, next thing you know, it says, don't do that. It's like, oh, you fucking did it. So I like to read ahead a little bit. So with Nintendo, what I would have liked to have seen is Nintendo give us a breakdown right away of the Nintendo Switch 2, not absolutely everything, but what they're going to be talking about next. And while they talk about that, in this case, we'll use Mario Kart. So they'll say something like, more fidelity, more graphics, and then it does this, this, and that. And then while you're showing us Mario immediately after, you talk about those points that you just talked about, and then you start adding a couple more, and then you go into that demonstration they did with the Switch 2, where they actually talked about the specs and all that. So that was my only little hiccup with it, because at first I was a little bit confused. Like it felt more like a Mario Kart promotion, which it really was, and then it went into the Switch 2, which I would have liked it to be more reverse in the beginning. But the overall, the show I absolutely love. Henry, what about you? Did you think that the beginning with the Mario Kart, how they started off, how they presented it, it was good, or do you have a difference of opinion?
Oh no, I thought it was good. I thought it was good because they led off with a strong game. With a system seller. They led off with that.
Who said that?
My wife.
That's what I'm talking about. But we get some real motherfuckers in here.
All right, all right. Okay.
Facts.
All right. So that's a fact. She said switches for cozy games and cozy games ain't worth $500.
That's a
But
fact.
I do like that they led off with a system seller. Okay, baby.
She
Okay, she
does
said
speak the
Mario
truth, Michael.
Kart.
Got the chat going.
Right on. See, that's what you need, bro. You might need a chick on the
Bro,
pedal,
I've
bro.
been
That's
trying
what
to
you
get
like.
RPG to bring his girl in because she's a Switch person, you know what I'm saying? And he just doesn't
Yeah.
want to. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, she said shit. I'm gonna have my son up here, hop in here, for a couple minutes too. Once we get done with this quick little intro, because he's the Switch player in the house, and he ain't even played that motherfucker in like 2 years. But he has the most
Damn.
experience with it. You know what I mean? So I want to get his opinion that I haven't even asked him about yet, so the whole chat and the whole world can see from a fucking 9-year-old, right? But anyways, what were you saying, Henry?
Oh yeah, but I do like the fact that they led off with a system seller in order to reveal the new system. Because Mario Kart Worlds is gonna sell systems, even at $80. They
Sheesh.
got the open world aspect. You can wall ride, you can grind, you can free cruise, you can take pictures with the homies, all this other stuff. Now is it a seller is it a seller for me? Oh no. Is it a seller for my wife? Oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
But if you, like I was saying, if you are a Nintendo Switch only individual and the last Switch you bought was an OLED or something like that, then yeah, it's about time for that upgrade. And I do see how to those specific individuals now, it's worth it, because even with the third party support they showed and the different things they showed, it's because I got a five, bro. I got a five, bro. Folks got PCs. Folks got series consoles, bro.
Yeah.
Folk. I get. Finally, as a Switch user, you got access to this stuff. They finally getting Cyberpunk, bro. They
Hmm.
finally getting stuff like that. You know what I'm
5
saying?
years later.
So yeah. So if all you had was a Switch, it's a dub. But to everybody else, it's not that win to where people are gonna be chomping at the bit to spend $450 minimum.
All right, hold on, wait. You're getting ahead of us. You're getting ahead of us,
Oh, my
my
fault,
guy,
my
because
fault,
we
my
about
fault,
to
my
go in
fault, my
all
fault,
that.
my fault,
We're about to
my
go in
fault,
on
my
all
fault,
that.
my fault,
Uh,
my fault,
because
my
yeah,
fault,
that
my
that
fault, my
is
bad, my
that's
bad,
the
my bad.
hot button topics, and I'm already getting amped up just hearing you because I agree with you. But because right now we're talking about the show, and the thing that I really want to get a point
It was
across,
a good
right?
show though. It was a
It
good
was a
show.
great show, and we all saw it. We're all, so I'm not gonna get too much about the show, but like Henry said, they showed third party stuff. They showed, and at first when I was watching the show, I'm like, they're showing too many games, right? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the whole point, right? Is the games, because without the games, the hardware means nothing. You can have fucking diamond encrusted fucking dick on your console, and if you ain't got no games to play it, then what the fuck's the point, right? But what I really wanted was the system specs, what it can do, and that was great. And they went above and beyond with the show, right? So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the specs, right? And
What specs? They didn't show none.
well, 1440, 1080 up to 4K, 60 frames up to 120 frames. Those are the main ones. Anything outside of that, it's jargon for the techies. But this is what they're saying they can do on some games, not all
I was about to
games.
say. I was about to say.
But that's with everything, right? Because we get that on PlayStation 2. We get that on everything, right? Some games will, some games won't. It's up to the developer and how they use the hardware. But at least we know that the hardware is capable, right? It's not just that it's only Nintendo who can do this. Like, no. And also something that kind of opened up my eyes too with this, talking about the games, is how Nintendo said that in partnership, a lot of times. So they're taking a little bit of that Sony formula in there where they're going out and teaming up with developers. Where Xbox did the opposite. Xbox just bought these motherfuckers. Nintendo and PlayStation are teaming up with them to create even their own IP, which I found very interesting, which we can get into later. But what they showed us, what the system can do, RPG, was it worth the wait? Is it what the gamers wanted? Is it what you wanted? And do you think, and before RPG takes over, I think we have to distinguish ourselves between the us and the them. The them being the Nintendo gamer, like Henry said, the guys that only play Nintendo, that's their main console, versus the us, which is like the Nintendo is an add on, the Nintendo is an accessory. The Nintendo is for that first party game we can't play nowhere except for the Nintendo, right? So that's the rest of us. But do you think it covers both of those different groups? The us, which is the kind of part timers, and then the full blown Nintendo guy. Do you think the specs or the what the system can do? Do you think it was worth the wait, and do you think it's what people were hoping for?
I mean, if you're a hardcore casual, hardcore gamer like me, you,
No,
and,
you
and
said it
Henry
right.
are, yeah,
Hardcore
no
casual.
hardcore casual. But if
Hardcore
you
casual. Brett. Brett.
Brett.
Yeah, no fucking serious ass bullshit. But no, if you're a hardcore gamer like me, you, and Henry are with the PS5 or the Series X or even PC, this is an addition. This is something that you grab and you go on your way out the door, whether you go on a road trip or you're taking it to work or whatever. This is good for that. Is it $450 good for that? That's really up to you if you really like the games that they've shown today and they're going to show later this summer during the Summer Games Fest. That's yet to be seen and yet to be agreed upon. But when it comes to if you're like a hardcore Nintendo fan, that is what you play. You don't play the other consoles. You don't play PC. You are a mobile handheld gamer. This is what you play. I think it is a solid W for you. It's a solid win. Is with what they put out today as far as the graphic wise, with the 4K dock and the 120 frames output. We're not going to say that these games are going to be able to do 120 frames. You're not going to see Elden Ring, or you're not going to see Cyberpunk, or any of these other
What's that
games.
Undertale game? That it's not Undertale, but it's like Undertale. That's the game that's gonna do 120 right there.
Yeah, you're not going to see these big games like, Elden Ring and Cyberpunk. You're not going to see this shit do 120. So you just need to get the hell out of your mind. There's PCs that are barely able to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
PCs that are on the normal range of what PC owners have out there. Not these elitist 1%ers that have 5090s and X3D CPUs and all this other crap.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the game and to the console itself, I think it was a solid get because Nintendo could have Nintendo'd, because that's the phrase nowadays on Twitter and on YouTube. Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. They could have come out. They could have just made a little bit redefined Switch 1 and painted it up and called it a day.
I mean, they kind of did at the end a little bit.
A little bit, but they're offering more stuff with the features and the abilities of the Joy-Cons and the abilities of the actual games themselves.
Yeah.
So I think it's a solid upgrade through and through. But at the end of the day, is it going to sell? Is the market going to support the price? If the market doesn't support the price, then the thing will not do numbers.
And it will. I think it will. Henry, what about you? Do you think that the hardware is what the gamers wanted? Do you think that they're happy with what we got? Just the hardware.
Oh, just the hardware. Yeah,
just the hardware.
I think
Not pricing, none of that.
Oh yeah. I think it's an improvement. It's gonna have a lot of features that that should have been there a while ago, but they're gonna finally have the features. Bigger. You got the bigger triggers. You got the bigger analog. You got a bigger screen. They didn't speak on battery life. Battery life is a big deal. So hopefully that battery life is better. But like I said, the system as a whole, it is an upgrade. You know what I mean? And even to be honest, even at $450, like I said, if you're a Switch only, Nintendo only gamer, that's a good price for you. If you ain't got nothing else and you just a Nintendo person. Now, I know we ain't speaking about the price right now, but that's a good get for the individuals that's in that ecosystem now. If you in that ecosystem, so for what the system offers, you got the mouse features, you got the more storage on your system. You got like I said, bigger screen. It's like what 7.8, 7.9?
7.9.
7.9. Integrated mic, and of course these are things that other platforms have already had for a while now.
By other platforms, we mean PlayStation, because nobody else has it.
Listen. You know,
Hey, we're just keeping it real. Look, because look, I go so hard on PlayStation, right? I go hard on PlayStation a lot and all the time. But the reason I do is because the expectation for PlayStation is different, and that's because they set it up that way. I'll let Henry continue before I fucking go off on this.
all right. But and my last point, as far as current gen or next gen system in comparison to everything else, this is not that. That's why I say Switch only gamer. You know what I'm saying? But if you looking at it as far as some people try to position as a rival for PS5 or a rival for Series X console, that's not what this is. This is a better Switch. This is a Switch Pro. Switch 2. At first initially I was like, all right, this is just a Switch Pro, but it's a Switch. It's a Switch 2. It's a second iteration. And that's it. You know what I mean? It is an upgrade. I can't say it's not.
I'm gonna combat that a little bit because I actually think that. Well, first let me talk about the Switch 2. What I thought about it. I'm actually surprised with the upgrades and what the Switch 2 is able to do. I really am, man. I mean, just this week I was joking with the guys that the Switch is gonna go from 30 frames per second to 35 frames per second, right? You guys were there in the Discord when I said the shit, and I meant it for real. Halfingly joking, but halfingly serious because Nintendo is Nintendo, right? So the fact that the console is able to do up to 120, and look, this is the same shit that happened with PlayStation, up to 8K, right? When they had one game that could do up to 8K, and it was a bullshit game, but it was still available. I think that's going to be a similar situation with the Switch, but all the Switch 2 is really doing is, or all Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2 is now catching up to modern hardware. That's all they've done with the Switch 2. Let's be real here. It's not pushing gaming forward. It's not even next gen. It's current gen shit. What the PS5 Pro is doing, that was the start of the next gen. That's the start of pushing gaming forward, right? And by the way, pricing PS5 Pro Switch 2, it's not that fucking off. It's not that off, guys. I mean, if we include a PlayStation Portal, you go from $700 to $900, and now you basically have a portable PS5 with a bigger screen with haptic feedback. All right, just keep that in the back of your mind. Yes, it's $400 more, but just to kind of show you the gap a little bit. But that's my initial impression with the Switch 2 is that it's doing way more than I thought it would. I do like the features, and like I said, it's going now to a modern a modern console hardware where it should have been. The highlight to me of the Switch 2, outside of the better graphics, outside the better performance, is the Joy-Cons. I'm a huge fan of next generation controllers. That's one of the biggest reasons that I had a problem with Xbox is that the console itself seems to be next gen, but the controllers isn't, and that to me makes it feel not next gen. Especially when you don't have the games, especially when you're playing a lot of the same old shit. You're like, did I really need a fucking Series X, Series S? Did I? Maybe I did to play the modern games, but what were we gonna say, RPG?
Especially when you boot up the Xbox Series X or Series S UI and you feel like you're playing an Xbox
Exactly.
One.
Exactly.
Now, my question for you, Will, because this has been a thing in Twitter and YouTube all day today. The screen for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
An LCD.
Mm-hmm. Disappointment. Huge disappointment.
What does the Portal have in it?
LCD.
Does it not look good?
It looks phenomenal, but it's $200.
It is $200, but we're talking solely on the screen.
Okay, if we go solely on the screen, then it's a fucking step back because we went from Switch to Switch Lite to Switch OLED, and now back to LCD. So Nintendo really fucked us with that one. And the only
if Switch 2 came out with an OLED for
they're gonna come out with OLED next year for $600.
$550 to $600.
No. They should have done it at the $450 where they're at now.
They're not gonna swallow that.
The difference between a fucking Switch and a Switch OLED is $30 fucking dollars.
They're not gonna swallow that.
And okay, it's a what? It's a 1.7 1.8. What is it? 6.9 or
I
6.1?
think roughly the Switch
Almost
2
2
is roughly the
inches.
same size as the OLED right now.
The OLED is 7.1 inches, so 6.9. So we're going from 6.9 to 7.9 from the Switch to the Switch 2. If we go from the OLED to the Switch 2, it's a 7.1 screen. So we're going zero point 0.9 or zero point 0.8 inches more. So I mean, it's fucking, negligible, the fucking difference here. So you're going basically what the fucking Nintendo did is they're giving you a Switch OLED with the updated fucking features, with the updated GPU. That's all they fucking did, bro. And that's the shit that's pissing me off because you're still charging $120 more, but it's the same exact it's less. So
My thing is though is if that LCD that comes on the Switch 2 looks just as good, if not better, than the OLED Switch 1,
but it's
why
not.
does it matter?
But it's not
How do you know?
because it's an OLED and an LCD.
But how do you know? Have you seen the two compared to next to each other in your
No,
hand?
but you don't need to. You know what a banana tastes like. You know what an apple tastes like. You know what happens when you eat a banana and apple together. You don't
But
necessarily need to
I
eat them
bought the
together to know
OLED.
that.
I bought the OLED because it looked better, and then when I played it in person and I could compare the two together, and I go, yeah, this OLED looks better than the LCD. Now, if the
Let me
new
ask you a question.
LCD,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah,
All right, sure, the OLED look better than LCD, but are you gonna be playing that joint docked or are you gonna be playing that joint handheld? Because if you're gonna be playing the hand and dock, then the screen don't matter.
me
Because you're gonna be
personally, I'm
playing
gonna
it
be
on.
playing
But
that.
it does
I'm gonna be
matter.
playing it docked,
But it does matter
but
because
I'm not the Nintendo person of the household.
no. But even if we take our own gaming with the system, right? Because I mean that we can only speak from our own experiences and what others have told us. But it does matter because it's a feature that comes with it. It's a feature that is selling you on it. So it should look 1080. It should run 60 or whatever handheld. And then once you dock it, it should go up to 4K. It should go up to 120.
Oh, I mean, I get that, but I'm saying, because I get your argument. Of course, yeah, they probably should have dropped the OLED standard just because that's what they left off on.
Yes.
Just like when you look at the PlayStation,
Just like the
they
PlayStation should have
left
had
out.
a stand. They should have had a disc drive.
Yep, because that's what they left off on. They made that decision to leave off on that, but then when they give you the new one, they take it away. But
But they're
if
not
you're an
doing this
individual,
because the cost is. They're doing this to make more money. They're not doing this because the cost is crazy. We just talked about the OLED and the fucking Switch. It's a $30 difference. So
oh
obviously, it's
yeah,
not a cost
Nintendo,
thing.
Nintendo can 1000% eat this because let's not act like they made money day one on the Switch. They
Day
make
one.
money day one on these games because they not putting no money into this production, into the game production. Nothing. They make these games on PS3 gen engines,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. The tech when it came out was outdated.
If
You
Nintendo
know,
sells half of what they did on the Switch One, which they're not, but just as an example, if they sell half, they're going to be more profitable than they were on the Switch One. And that's not even with software. That's just hardware. Because people have this delusion that, and the same thing with the PS5 Pro, people have this fucking delusion in their mind that cost is not going down. Yes, the fuck it is, bro. A 2020 Honda Civic is worth less than a fucking 2025 Honda Civic. In 2026, that 2020 Honda Civic is going to be worth even less. So why the fuck are we not applying this to fucking hardware? Every year a
and
new
also
GPU comes out,
the parts for that Honda Civic are less
are
over
less,
time.
are less.
Hmm.
The only thing that you can justify price is demand at that point. Or if
Well,
something happens like tariffs, right? Or fucking material costs or, whatever. But these things are temporary. You
well
don't
those
see them long lasting. Unless
well
it's
those
like fucking,
parts.
you know, gold. Gold, there's only so much in the world. Bitcoins, there's only so much that you can get. So therefore, the more that's bought, the less there is. This isn't that instance.
Well, hypothetically, those parts. Let's use this car situation. those parts are less, 5 years after it's released, back in 2020. They could be they could be less, or they could be more expensive because they stopped manufacturing those parts.
Yeah, but when you yes, you're right, but that happens years down the road. That doesn't happen within
5 years
five
is
years.
years down the road.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like
In
decades,
in
like
the
a decade, decade and a
in the
half.
current market, the fact that you go out and you buy a small block Chevy engine right now that was made 40 years ago is not the same as when you could buy a small block Chevy engine 20 years ago. It's
Yeah,
not as easy. It's
no,
not as cheap.
you're
It's
right.
not as
But this is we're talking 20 years, 2 decades, 4 decades.
yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
in tech, 5 years is 20 years.
yeah, but the
In
difference in
in,
tech,
in automod in auto.
yes, but in tech, it's even easier because when a new iPhone comes out or when a new Samsung phone comes out and they have, I don't know, fucking chip, I don't know, just a fake chip, right? Chip 100 on a brand new fucking Apple, whatever, Apple 30. I don't even know nothing about Apples, but we'll say Apple 30
Alpha
comes out
30.
this year and it's got the new, it's
Well,
got a
Henry, we got like
glitter.
3 years till the Apple 30.
It's got a glitter on there on the pink instead of just a flat pink. So now they're going to charge an extra $7,000, right? Just an example.
That was your old
Apple,
ass man shit you just said.
I
Apple
know,
30.
I am old. Uh, but the chip for that phone, let's say it's chip 100, right? In the series 100 is the newest
Mm-hmm.
fucking chip. So, it's a small difference from chip 99, but it's a big jump from chip 90. So if you're on iPhone fucking 20, jumping to iPhone 30 is going to be a big difference. But jumping from iPhone 29 to 30, a couple differences. That's for us, the main market. That chip 100 isn't going to go away in 5 years because in 5 years, instead of it costing us $1,000 for that phone, they're going to be mass producing that chip for a phone that's $200 in a third world country market where that will be the new hotness because they can't afford $1,000, but they can sure as fuck afford 200. So the idea that these fucking chips, just because they come out, they stop making them a few years down the road is not true. Normally, they invest in what they already been making. That's what cars do all the time. So in cars, they do a
Yeah,
refresh every 4 to 5 years.
Toyota do that. Toyota use the same engine for generations.
Yes, they'll
They
use it
just
for 5, 10 years. Tech is not
yeah.
that much because obviously technology advances way quicker than a fucking engine block, right? There's only so many horsepower you can get out of X amount of aluminum and whatever and weight and all that. But it's the same thing. There's tiers, just like the movies. You go to the movies, it's in theaters for 45 days. Then it goes to fucking, subscription services. Then it becomes available for sale. So there's a tier system on this shit. The same thing happens with the technology. And how do we know this? Because Nintendo's been running a fucking 2012 chip for the last 10 fucking years. And it hasn't gone away. Why? Because sales are still going crazy and they're still making them. So I just
Mm-hmm.
cannot accept that answer when it comes to profitability on these things because it applies to so many things in our life and it's been like that since the beginning of fucking mass production of anything. You just don't get rid of something year after year one unless it's faulty and unless there's a lot of issues with it. And with video games, we just haven't seen that since the 360 days. You know what I mean? So that's why I can't accept that. Also, there's nothing wrong. And look, I said this at the beginning of the podcast, and now that you guys are here, I'll re-say it again. There's nothing wrong with Nintendo building off the success of the Switch, right? That was a big gamble that they did back in 2017, right? They just came off the Wii U, which sold so poorly, and they got a hit in their hands. And just like a ball player, if you're fucking playing for the Yankees and you hit 70 home runs, your next fucking contract, you expect to get fucking paid, right? So I don't expect Nintendo to not want to do that as well because I would do that. And I do that with you guys. I give credit to RPG, Warwana, Henry, even if I say something negative on one of their opinions, like with Warwana, he likes Souls games, I hate him. But even though I talk about Souls, I give him credit because he's inspired me in some way, shape, or form about that opinion, right? So I understand Nintendo completely. But at the same fucking time, it's like, bro, you're not hurting. You are not gaining any good fucking will here. And let's be real, video game companies, with how hardware is fluctuating, how physical games is fluctuating, how just console gaming in general is on the downwards trend, you would think that they would do everything in their power to get some of that goodwill while making the money. And look, a $30, $50 difference, really, when you're charging $80, $90 for fucking games and you're making that hand over fist, I just see it as unethical and I see it as greed. But maybe that's just me. I mean, obviously, both of you guys disagree with me on that, but I just think that Nintendo could do more, especially when the last gen, the Switch 1, was so outdated from the fucking get go. And even with that outdatedness, they became basically the number one selling console. That's hardware. I mean, fuck, they drop a Pokemon game, they sell 20 million in a fucking month. Like these are insane numbers, guys. And mind you, none of these fucking budgets go over 50, $60 million.
Hell no, they don't.
But while
Hell
we're
no, they
talking
don't.
about that, let's get into the fucking pricing of, unless you guys have anything else to say about what we just spoke about, we'll get into the pricing of the games next.
I just want to like reiterate that
Oh, hold on, let me read
as
this.
a
Let me read this real quick, Henry. What's
go
up,
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Dizzy? I think Nintendo is nuts, and anyone who pays those prices are equally nuts. 80 USD games is $130 Canadian here. Yes, we're gonna get into that right now, Dizzy. We are gonna get into that right now. And he also says the Switch will be 800 Canadian dollars for old tech and next to no storage. That basically means next gen console will be around 700 to 800 USD. We're gonna get into
And
all
it
that right now.
and if that is a problem, it will not sell. If it sells, then it's not a problem.
Yeah, I also disagree with that because of what we spoke about earlier, RPG. But we'll let Henry get into his thing, and then we'll get into why.
Oh no
And
no no, because with it what Joe was said, we can go ahead. That could be a segue. So you can go ahead and get into the next thing, and then I'll
okay.
add on to it.
Well, I'll get into it right away so I don't leave y'all in suspense. But what RPG said, and normally he would be right in what he said, where he said, and that would be dictated if it sells well, right? But the problem is in video game, only in fucking video games, man. Only in video games we get shitty fucking journalists, even though we're the biggest entertainment in the fucking world, right? Only in video games do we fucking get consistent video game pricing for 100 years, and then all of a sudden it changes, right? Only in fucking video games. But so a lot of this shit goes out the fucking window. But what RPG said, he's absolutely 100% correct, and that's how it would be with a logical product. But the problem is, us gamers, we ain't shit. We ain't shit. We cannot control ourselves to save our fucking lives when it comes to this, right? We buy these fucking games day one when we've had experiences like Cyberpunk, Halo. I mean, so many fucking games, right? We just do not learn. And the example I'm going to use is No Man's Sky. I mean, there's so many examples. And look, we all do it for different reasons, right? RPG would buy a fucking a product from the people who make No Man's Sky, not giving a fuck. He's a fan, and I wouldn't judge him for it. You know, I would fucking buy the next new game just because I'm a fucking collector, right? Henry would buy whatever just because that's what he fucking likes. So there's no judgment there. But we have to be honest with each other and be like, look, what we're doing is fucking wrong, right? And I'll use Monster Hunter as an example, which me and RPG had this discussion while we were playing live. By the way, check out our live streams on Tuesdays, just playing live at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where the Monster Hunter game, the new one, Monster Hunter Wilds, was built off the RE engine. And that engine is very limited for the type of game that Monster Hunter Wilds is. And my complaint during that is, well, a laundry list, right? And RPG is telling me, well, it's because it's made off the wrong engine. I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but then why are gamers accepting this shit? I mean, the fucking game sold 1 million copies in 6 hours, right? And it's not like it's the first fucking Monster Hunter game. It's like the 5th Monster Hunter game that's been built off the same fucking engine with the same fucking problems. But yet they still sold 1 million in the first 6 fucking hours. So why us as consumers expect for Capcom to say, you know what, this engine isn't built for this. Let's go ahead and invest in a new engine that's specifically gonna make Monster Hunter run well. Why would they do that when they just sold 1 million copies in 6 fucking hours? They're not. Grand Theft Auto. Why would they come out with a new Grand Theft Auto when they're making billions a year off fucking skins and fucking map packs and shit? Like, why would they? They're not. We're saying, don't change what you're doing. We like what this is. So why the fuck would they say, hey, let's just upgrade this whole thing because it would be better? We have to earn their business. They're not. Just like this $80 price point that we're talking about right now. It's not going to fucking change because people are going to fucking buy it. I hope not. But I'll pass it on to one of you guys. Whoever wants to go first, RPG Henry, regarding the price point of the games.
Henry,
I'll just
you
go
go
first.
for it. Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'll go for it. I'll go for it. Me personally, all right, like I was saying, it's not a day one for me just because it's not enough there for me to warrant picking it up day one. The stuff that I am interested for this system is it's not launching day one. You know, one of the main games I am interested in is the From Software game that's dropping next year, and also I'm not one of the things that also interests me about that is I don't think that From Software will ask $70, $80 for that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think they would. I could be wrong. I just don't think so.
Yeah, which
But
game?
that's blood.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Well, if you
but
notice
like
that, like Street Fighter is 60. I think that the publishers also, or the
yeah, I think
developer.
third party is gonna still be consistent with
Hmm.
for the most part. Now you might, like I said, man, GTA 5 or whatever on there, it's gonna probably be more.
Yeah.
But just to speak to the price, I when Tears of the Kingdom dropped and they talk about $70, at that point I was done. I showed you my receipt. I traded in my whole collection, physical collection, and got Tears of the Kingdom. And even then, I didn't enjoy the game enough to keep playing it. I'm not I'm I don't mind paying $70, $80 for a game, but I expect a certain level of quality to be there. Nintendo does not produce fidelity wise, performance wise, feature wise games that are worth $70, $80. They do not. These games are made in old gen, old engines. These are late PS3 gen games that might look slightly better or upscaled or perform slightly better, but at the end of the day, these are not current gen games. They current gen in the
Nintendo
in the
sense.
I yeah in the Nintendo sense they are. But if you base PS5, they not. Series X, they not. What 30 PC probably what 3070, 3060 card, they not. You know, so why would I?
And PC
And
games
some
are
people do.
cheaper. PC games are normally $50 brand new, or 60.
Sure, sure. And there's a lot of stuff there on Nintendo games. Rarely go on sale. Rarely. Mario Kart World probably ain't gonna go on sale for the next 8 years. You probably not gonna catch that for cheaper than 80 for the
No.
next 8 years,
Yeah.
unless you catch somebody on Facebook Marketplace that's just trying to get rid of it. You know what I mean? But that's just my perspective, and I like how you say, well, I'm not gonna buy a Ubisoft game retail day one
Yeah. Yeah.
because of these things. So
Hmm.
when it comes to Nintendo, I'm not finna give them 70, $80 because of these things. The quality just not there to. I'm not giving you current gen prices for old gen games. I'm not doing it. That's just me. You know, the system itself, like you can make the argument that yeah, it's worth 450, and okay, cool. But you gonna sit up here and tell me, uh, uh, Mario Kart World is worth $80, $90 if you get it physical?
Physical. Yeah.
You crazy as hell.
Yeah.
You crazy as hell. And it might not even be on the cart. You crazy as hell. I'm looking
and you
for
gotta
I'm looking for Will Tripp and JP. Will it play Mario Kart World?
Oh man, it's gonna be
Will
a
will
while
it
for that.
install?
It's gonna be a while for that.
don't go there.
It's gonna be a while with that motherfucker. I didn't even get Mario Kart 8 till fucking like 2022. And I love Mario
hey,
Kart.
hey, will it install without internet? Let's see how that go. You
Hmm.
feel me?
I even got the wheel for that bitch on my Switch. Like I love it, but it'd be a while.
And that's just where I stand with it. Like I said, the
Well, and one
system
more
itself is
question for
defeated.
you, Henry. Well, before we pass it to RPG, what you know what? Let's let RPG go with his part, and then I'll ask you guys both a question. Go ahead, RPG. What
Right
do you think
on.
about the eighty
Right on.
dollar point?
$80 point. That's that's fucking steep. I mean, that's been the main talking point. So there is an issue with the community on the $80 price
Yeah,
point
not
for
even
the
Nintendo
increase.
guys are defending it.
No, I mean there's Sony guys, there's Nintendo guys, there's Xbox, PC. They're all giving us an equal shit, right? Am I in agreement with it? No. Do I like paying more money for games? No, I don't. I didn't like the $10 increase from 60 to 70 when we got to the PlayStation 5 and the
Which, by the
Xbox
way,
and all that.
EA started that.
Yeah,
EA
they did.
started that increase, not
And now we got
PlayStation.
Nintendo going, no, well, we're gonna one up you, and we're gonna start our shit. So we're gonna become the bad guy. We're gonna become the villain, and we're gonna do this, and you're just gonna have to suck it up and get over it. I'm not a fan of it, but do I understand it? Yeah, I mean, if you can get away with it, why not press the
Wait, what do
why
you
not press
understand
the
about
pedal?
it?
If you can get away with it, that's the big question in the air. Can they get away with it?
All right, so the question,
Is it going to sell?
so the question that I have for both of you guys is, well, let me give you my opinion, and I'll ask you guys a question because $80 for any game, especially on a
Hmm.
Switch, is ridiculous. I could see that on PlayStation. I could see that on Xbox because these dudes are pushing fucking 4K 60 frames all fucking day. Budgets are two, three, $400 million. These games are fucking Grammy nominated. You know what I mean? Games of the year, fucking pushing gaming forward. Fucking animations are insane. I talked about The Last of Us Part 2 Ellie animation where she picks up a brick, runs with it, and throws it while running. And that arch she does, it's like a major league pitcher. Like, that's fucking insane. All while leaving footprints on the ground, all while her fucking hair is blowing to the right because the wind is blowing from the left. All while there's a booger up her fucking nose, and we can see that. Like, that's insane. All while the DualSense Edge is fucking, I feel the raindrops, right? All I can hear the music coming from the speaker, while I can hear fucking people in the background talking, right? 3D audio, all that bullshit. The the show went great. And the number one question we all had in our minds, besides the performance of the console, was pricing. Nintendo did not show it in the show. That already raised red flags. And I think that by Nintendo doing this $80 bullshit really put a cloud over the fucking show. Because that's not what everybody's talking about. It's the fucking price point. Instead of talking about the mouse features, the 1440, 4K, the fucking fan in the dock, all this shit, people are now talking about price. Now, who knows? Maybe the industry is going to $80. And it kind of makes a little bit of sense because they went from 60 to 70, $10 increase. 70 to 80 will be a $10 increase as well. If that's the case, Nintendo said, fuck you. We're just going to jump right into the 80 and skip the $70 portion when they haven't earned the $70 portion of video game sales. So if that's the case, what I'm trying to say with this is maybe because Nintendo is a new kid on the block with their console, now they are implementing the new sell price for video games going forward. But Nintendo will be the one carrying the burden that they were the ones who raised it. So it couldn't even have been Nintendo who said we're going to raise it. It just could be an industry thing that's going to happen. And Nintendo says they're coming out right now. They're like, well, let's just implement it now, right? So it could have been that. But no, that's not what people are going to remember. People are going to remember it was Nintendo's fault. Nintendo started it. Everybody else had no choice but to follow suit. So whatever publisher, whatever fucking video game console maker was going to do the first fucking increase to $80, Nintendo said, nah, I'll do that. Ladies go first. And that is what Nintendo's going to be remembered for decades to come. Who just talked last? Was it RPG or Henry?
Yeah, send it over to Henry.
Henry, what do you think about what I just said? And do you think, well, just tell me what you think about what I just said about the $80. Do you think I'm right where the industry was already going there and Nintendo jumped first and now they'll be remembered as the assholes? Or do you think this is something Nintendo's doing on their own?
I personally think it's something they're doing on their own because even now you got people talking about tariffs and all this other stuff. They charge $70 for Tears of the Kingdom.
Well,
when it
tariffs don't
came
even
out.
equate. The percentage of tariffs don't even equate to the price
Listen,
that they're getting charged out.
I just brought it up because that's what people saying. You know what I mean? I think with what they did with Tears of the Kingdom, that was them foot dipping to see if they could rock out. You know what I mean? Of course, they were able to rock out. People ran out in droves and bought Tears of the Kingdom and made all kind of well they had to use a bigger SD card and all this other stuff they were saying. When in no way, shape, or form that game was worth a high 70. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. People want to bring up Nintendo 64 game prices and all this kind of stuff and all that. But the fact of the matter is, games dropped from that price where those games had lower budgets. They dropped from that price down to your $49.99, down to your $59.99. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, said
And
$39.99
and
for a while there.
you see, and then also on top of that, you still got games, brand new games with more fidelity, more features. Clear obscure, how much that game costs? Expedition 33. How much is that game?
Is that 40 or
40.
50?
Wait, no, yeah, it's 50 for the deluxe, I think, and then
For
40.
for the
Hold on, let me look because that's a good question.
I want to say it's
and I
50 for standard.
Yeah, I think you may be right. I'm just gonna look it
I
up
think
while
it's
Henry's talking.
60 for like the holy shit package.
so it's regular
So it's
retail for the
50.
whole shit package.
Yeah, it's 50,
You
but
know,
you can buy it everywhere for 45 because they're giving you a deal for buying it a little early, so 10%.
Mm. Yeah.
and you see what I'm saying, and look how that game look. Look at the mechanics inside of that game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's Unreal 5. You know what I'm saying? New IP. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look at the what you think the performance option gonna be on that game. You
Hey,
think the
real
performance
quick,
option?
I'm sorry to stop this, Henry, but I just felt a feeling of gratitude, and I wanted to say I appreciate both of you guys for being here, and thank you for being my
Oh
friends.
hell yeah,
Sorry
bro.
to cut you
Hell
off. I just
yeah,
got a
bro.
wave of thankfulness for you guys, so I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, right on, brother. Right on, brother. And I bring that game up to just illustrate that this is not where the market is going. This is not what marketed. This is a Nintendo decision. You know what I mean? It's plenty of games that are coming out at $50, $60, $30, $28. These AI limit $39 is a Switch quality game. So you mean tell me if Nintendo had made that game, they was gonna charge you 70 for it?
Yeah.
For what reason? No reason whatsoever other than the fact that it's motherfucking Nintendo and they see that people pay what they paid 70 for. Tears of the Kingdom. We can get 90 out of them. That's what they said, and that's what they doing. And sure, you got people. It's an adverse reaction online, but you think Nintendo finna reverse that shit?
No,
Hell no,
no.
cause you know why? Cause when them pre-orders pop off, them motherfuckers gonna flood.
Henry, I just read
Motherfuckers gonna flood.
a tweet from Icon Era. 2 retailers in the UK sold out immediately. They opened
That's what
pre-orders
I'm
and they sold out
saying.
immediately. I mean, they're
That's what I'm
small
saying.
retailers, right? Like, a couple stores each, but that just explains to you the hype behind this.
And you think it ain't gonna sell out when let that bitch hit Best Buy over here in America? You think that
Bro,
bitch ain't gonna pop?
that's why I
Come on,
had the
man.
whole fucking rant about it's our fucking fault because we can't control ourselves. Like, we're bitching and crying about the pricing, but we're not going to do anything about it. And that's how they got us by the balls, right? I mean, yeah,
But
they can combat bad press when they do some gay shit on the game, right? They'll be like, oh, we'll fix it, whatever. But they already got our fucking money. Go ahead, RPG.
at the same time that you're speaking, you're talking to us here in the panel, and you're talking to the others in the chat. The more clued in hardcore gamers, I would put everybody in that same atmosphere, that same group. The casuals are not that smart. They're not that clued in. They're going to buy, and that's what that marketing is doing. Is they're brainwashing and they're getting in there and they're getting those sales.
Well, then I'll combat that with the same discussion I had with Tim Dog on X. Now, it wasn't really a discussion. It was he tweeted, I tweeted, and then I responded, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said $500 isn't a lot of money.
Yes,
And
it is.
I just thought, like, you're fucking arrogant as fuck, bro. Like, $500 is a lot of fucking money. And you guys know I buy a shit ton of video games. I have the money to go buy a Nintendo Switch day one, no problem. I wouldn't even blink. I just, okay, buy it and I'll wait for it. Shit, I can buy one for me and my son and not even think about paying bills or whatever. The guys on the podcast can do the same exact fucking thing. They can go about buy a Switch right now if it was available. But $500 is a lot of fucking money. And look, I'm not wealthy. I'm middle class. My family, friends, neighbors, everybody is fucking struggling, bro. And we're all middle class. We're all fucking hurt by food prices, gas prices, fucking electricity bill every fucking month. Shit, internet's going up. Fucking car repairs are going up. Labor's going up. Finding eggs was hard for a while there. Eggs went up. Everything going up. So for you to say that $500 is not a lot of money, and the reason I bring that up is because I just don't think that disposable income is quite there yet. So when people say, you know, like RP, you said that the casual market is stupid, which they are, I just don't see them purchasing $80 games at the same rate they were buying $60 games on a Switch 1. Because now you're at 2 games, that's $180. Now you're going to be at $160. That $40 difference is going to get you a third fucking game if you're in the Switch 1 gen. And people are really going to consider that. I think that day one, the Switch is going to sell a boatload. But I really do believe there's going to be a little bit of a slowdown between day one and the holidays. Then the holidays, of course, will pick up. But after the holidays, I think the Switch will take a nosedive down. Now, they'll still sell millions. But once people start to realize that, hey, these games are costing $70, $80, instead of saying yes to my kid fucking twice a month, I'm only going to say yes once a month. So I think what Nintendo is okay with, either they know that that's the situation and they're okay with selling less but making more money, or they're completely oblivious and they think people for real are going to spend $80 per game because it's Nintendo. So I just wanted to combat that real quick. Let me catch up with the chat real quick because they've been going hard and I do not want to ignore them. Hero says they will sell out,
Yeah,
but
shout
it
out to
will
Hero,
slow
man.
down attach
Yeah.
rate. I agree, Hero, 100%, especially when you can play the same games on a Switch 1. I mean, there's a few games that are exclusive to the Switch 2, but you'll be able to play a lot of the same games on the
So
Switch 1.
far, it's only one game.
It's only one. Yeah, you're right, right? Mario
And
Kart is the only one.
the GameCube Virtual Console. That's it.
Oh, yep, and yeah. 450 isn't way too bad, but when the game prices come, the attach rate will fall. Yes, Hero, that's what we talked about. That I don't think the price it's a little high, right? Because it doesn't have OLED, but I think the price is
I
right
do
there.
think the price is a little high, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little high.
Yeah.
And also, the
They
Switch.
could have done 400 for the Switch 2, and I think that would have chimed a lot better than the
Way better.
450.
Yeah,
Way
I
better.
think 400 would have been the sweet
Yeah.
spot on there.
Because that's
And
what I was expecting.
Even though I'm an
until I seen the
insider,
show.
and I guess 450, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and also they really want you to buy this bundle because I mean it's a $40 savings. Buying Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World by itself is $80 digital, physical 90. You can get it for $500, $50 more than the base Switch. So that's big savings. Hero says my family makes $200K a year and we are struggling. Yep, that's about $140K US. Yeah, Hero, my neighborhood is I think that's the medium income is right between 120 to 160. And I mean, fuck, my neighbors across the street are selling their house because their fucking what do they call that? Their fluctuating interest rate just went over and they can't afford it anymore. So they're fucking leaving. And I know the husband, he does construction, he makes a killing. I mean, they own a boat and shit, which he sold recently. He probably makes about 150 a year, 160. His wife, she's an accountant, so she's making 80, 90K a year. So between both of them, they're pulling in over 220, 230 a year. And that's between two of them.
Bro, if they come down to Georgia, they'll be fucking killing it.
Bro, guess where they're moving? Alabama.
Where they move?
Alabama.
Yeah, you definitely killing it in Alabama, bro.
That's the problem here in the U.S. and the great United States of America is you can't afford to work and you can't afford not to work.
Yeah.
Because you're screwed either way. You're either going to be paying a shit ton to somebody, or you're not going to qualify to be paid.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a fucked up thing. So Hero's right. I just don't see people buying multiple games for the Switch like they were doing for the Switch One. Even myself, even there's games that I haven't bought this year yet. Not because I can't afford it, but because I'm being more cautious with my money. Like Berserker Kazan. I want to play that game, especially after I know that the difficulty that you can change the difficulty. It's $70 or $60, right? I can buy that, no problem. But I'm being more cautious. I'm setting restrictions for myself. Let me
Yeah,
finish Assassin's
I'm
Creed
right there
Shadow.
with you, my
Let me
boy. I'm
finish
right there
this.
with you.
You know what I mean? And if you guys seen the last couple videos that I've made, mail call videos or videos where I show you guys what I bought, they've been $5, game, which was what was it? Fallout 76, uh, Yakuza 6, right, for $10. Those are the type of games that I have no problem with buying because I see the value in them and they're worth more than what I'm paying for them, especially for the amount of hours that you're getting. Fuck, I just bought tickets to go see Minecraft because my son wants to see it, and I spent $30 on 2 tickets for an hour and
Ooh,
45 minutes.
child.
That's
Oh
not
no,
including the snacks. He's gonna want an icy. He might want some fucking mati sticks or a hot dog or something, or maybe a fucking candy bar. So that's gonna be another 20, $30 there
There's
for.
$70 on the credit card.
I don't use credit cards. If I ain't got the cash, I don't buy it. But yeah, man. So that's
bro. I feel you on that shit, bro. Straight
yeah. I
up.
stopped, bro. As soon as I paid off, bro, close to 100K in fucking debt, bro. Credit card debt, all sorts of shit.
Oof,
Not
shit.
because of what I spent, but because of the interest the shit fucking accrued. I'm like, nah, this gotta go. I don't even have a credit card for emergency purposes. I fucking got rid of all my shit, bro. I was doing the math. I'm spending fucking 10 grand a year just on interest alone. Just on
Bro,
interest alone.
you know what my emergency fund is?
Your savings
My
account?
sister.
Oh, your
My
sister. Oh,
sister.
she's loaded. Hey, me and you got
Hey,
that in common. I use my sister too.
hell yeah, that's the best thing to do, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, bro, it's
My
tough out
sister,
here.
baby.
Our hero says this is why I'm saying our children can't really demand new games from us like the past. The economy in the world is forcing us all to slow down. Hero in 1990, I think it was 97 or so, 98, right around there. My dad took us on a vacation to Puerto Rico. That's where I was born. I was born in Puerto Rico. I was about 11, 12 years old. And I remember we just got back from the mall. We were getting ready to fucking go to bed. We all got matching outfits and shit. I got some new Jordans, the Taxi 12s, which are my favorite. And I
Ooh,
remember
yes.
him saying, son, if you can make $300 a week, you'll be okay. You will be
Shit.
able to pay your bills. You will be able to take your family out for dinners every once in a while. And you will even be able to go on vacation at least once a year, like what we're doing now. That was in 1996. If you're making $300 a week now, you're fucking poverty level. You know what I mean?
Bro, bro,
So
I got a little bullshit job. I fell on hard times. This was back in 2014. I was making like 250 a week, and my
yeah.
son wasn't even born. It was just me. My son wasn't even born at this time. I was fucking suffering. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? At 250 down here, 250
hmm
a week, my boy. No, no. In 2014, nah, nah.
And there's people now that are making not 300 a week or 250 a week, but they're making 500, 600 a week. And with that, they got to pay their car payments, 400 a week, 500 a week, or I mean a month, right? And car payments are now super expensive. Rent, mortgage, food. So $80, that's an internet bill. That's a cell phone bill. That's fucking, 40% of your energy bill. That's a lot of fucking money, bro. So for me to spend $80 on a game a couple times a month, which is what they need in order to sustain the numbers that they've been producing, I just do not see it happening. What else do you guys have to say about the pricing with games or with Nintendo specifically?
I would have to add in too. We're speaking inside the chat about Hero about one of the. This do lean in the pricing as far as them charging for game chat.
Oh yeah.
I think it's weird, brothers.
Wait, doesn't
And I
PlayStation do
know
something similar?
Not with
now you
game chat.
sticking if you don't got plus you sticking game chat. You sticking party chat if you don't. And then plus we also got Discord. They not gonna have that. As far as we know, they're not gonna have Discord.
We just got Discord,
On
what, a year and a half ago? 2 years?
yeah, and I think Xbox had it for like 6 to 8 months longer than we had it, or a
Yeah.
year long, yeah, a year max longer than we had it. And I know you wanted demos to come back and make a comeback in game, but they've given us a demo on Game Chat for Switch.
Just
And
trial, like, see how you like
yeah,
it.
with them already being behind in this, because game chat on the Switch, you got to use your phone. You know what I mean? You can't do it through the system for real. You know, and so it's just another kind of brother. It's just a egregious kind of money grubbing bullshit. Like, bro, you charging for, first of all, you already behind. Game chat been around since what, 360 era, even before that. Even before that, you know what I mean? They brought Bluetooth to the Switch hella late. The PS Vita had Bluetooth centuries ago. You know what I'm saying? And they bringing game chat, and you gotta pay for it.
That's why I said that
You
all the
got,
Switch 2 is doing is bringing the Switch to modern hardware.
The thing
and you
is like
gotta,
with
you can, and
go
look,
ahead.
look. I get that, you know, they got an integrated mic, which old. They got 3D audio, old. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's a lot of features that they bring in, which are welcome. Like I said, if you're Nintendo only, Switch only, it's a dub. But for an individual who mains PlayStation, an individual who mains series console or PC, this it's not really that appealing to make you want to go over there and give them some more money for features you already enjoying for free on your main console. You know? And sure, Nintendo Online is cheap. We can make, okay, it's cheap. It's pennies. It's cheap. It's cheap. But
For
you
now.
mean it to, you don't, that's what I'm about to get. You don't think, because they're finna add the GameCube Virtual Console on there. You don't think they're gonna increase it? They finna add these chat features and video chat features on there. You don't think they finna increase it? It's finna jump, baby.
Game Pass that shit the fuck up.
That joint finna jump. So that also leads to the price, because if you spending, um, you get your system 500, 450. You get your Pro controller. That's and individual on Fuse.
80.
If you ain't on Fuse, hop on Fuse. They say the Joy-Cons going up $10. The Pro
Yep.
controller going up $10.
The
So
Joy-Cons.
you on there. So you spend a little more money there.
Here, I got
And
the
if you
numbers
spend,
here. Go keep talking, Henry. I'll bring the numbers up.
all right, and then you can't use your current SD card. You got to get the Express SD cards. You know what I'm saying, for your storages. So
Proprietary.
they didn't learn the lesson from the PS Vita, but okay, you got some third party companies gonna make
All
it.
right, I got the numbers right here.
Or the Xbox Series consoles because they had proprietary
That's what I'm saying, bro.
expansion.
It's
So
like,
the camera is $50. Joy-Cons are
wow.
$90. Joy-Con charging grip $35. Strap $13. Pro controller $80. Carrying case $80. Joy-Con wheel $20. So looking at this logically, right? If I'm gonna go buy a Switch 2 right now, okay, I'm gonna get the $500 version because I saved $40 or $30 from buying Mario Kart separate. So I'm gonna spend $500. I need an extra controller, right? So that's gonna be an
Yep.
additional $80. Then I also need a carrying case, right? Because I don't want my shit to get fucked up. That's another 80.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're talking about 160. So you're talking about $660. That's not including a fucking camera, which if you want to play with your friends and shit and do that whole four screen, you know, because people, you know, like you see a food commercial on TV and you see the new Whopper, it's got this onion ring in it. You want it exactly how it fucking looks, right? Like that's what that's appetizing
Yep.
to you. So that camera's gonna sell. So now we're at 710. You want the charging grip, right? So now you're at fucking 745. So you're at 750 right now just for the basics. And I put down on here when I bought my PS5, I got it bundled, right? Because that's what everybody was doing. GameStop, everybody was bundling shit together to maximize their profit. I got a PS5, I got a second controller, I got two PS5 games. One of them was Spider-Man. I think the second one was Valhalla. I got $100 GameStop fucking gift card. I got 3 months of PS Plus, and I got the media remote for $800. All that shit for $800 fucking dollars. So what the Switch 2 is doing for me is just showing me how great of a fucking deal the PS5 is. And we just saw that the slim PS5 went on sale today for $350. The same price as the fucking Switch OLED. $350. Now, I'm not now the Pro to me is still expensive, but in comparison to the Switch, it's still a better deal because we're gonna get games that fucking consistently 60 frames per second, 4K, the whole fucking 9 yards. The controller is next gen, it does all the things. Plus, you have accessibility to the third party games that Nintendo isn't getting yet. Now, I'll let you guys finish off with pricing, and then I'm going to ask the question about the third-party games and just the games in general from Nintendo. But yeah, it's insane the fucking money difference and those $10. If somebody tells you just speaking, hey guys, this is going to cost $10 more, you're like, oh, $10 ain't shit. But when you actually put it in perspective, when you go from 80 to 90, 70 to 80, 60 to fucking 70, 70 to 80. These are big fucking differences, guys. Now multiply that times what they're expecting to sell the first year, 20 million. I mean, we're talking about billions of additional fucking dollars here just by moving it up $10. Sorry, who was speaking? RPG? Was it you who were talking about the?
Yeah, RPG, you can go ahead, my boy.
I really don't have much to go on with the pricing. Like I said, I think it's a tad bit expensive with the games, especially with them being quote unquote uh, PS3 or PS4 graphic wise games that are not current gen, because I'm not going to say next gen because there's nothing next gen until we get into the PS6. But uh, with them being Switch games being $80, I don't see that price. I think they should have stuck where they were at, and that would have not rocked the boat as much, and probably would have done them better sales. But we're gonna have to see how that's gonna play out within the next couple months. All throughout the summer, all the way till December. We're gonna have to see if the price is really gonna matter to the comic folk.
Yeah,
But is it going to matter to us? Yeah, it's going to matter to us because we know what the fuck we're looking at. We know what a $70 Sony game or a $70
Mm-hmm.
Xbox or a PC game looks like, and then we're going to compare that to an $80 Switch 2 game, and we're going to see
Cause,
that
cause, cause,
difference.
cause, let me put this out here. Death Stranding 2 is gonna be $70.
mm,
Mario Kart World is gonna be $80. Come
mm,
on now, bruh.
mm.
Come on, bruh.
That's
Yeah.
just one game. Fucking
Now,
Zelda is 70, and another thing they didn't mention is the upgrade pricing. But we'll talk about that
I
when it
think I
comes to the
think that shit
games.
gonna be $20, bruh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be RPG. I think RPG is right. He says it's gonna be half the cost of the game.
can I pick your brain because I want to get Will a little bit hot and heated here before we go into
Yeah, you ought
before
to get them hot and heavy over there.
before
Shit.
we go into the next section. Uh, Games on physical cartridges being drove down to just being licensed things. They're going to be like 10 megabyte license keys, and the game's not going to actually be on the cartridge.
Wow.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts on that, Will? Because I know you're big physical. You don't like having internet to be required to install a game or play a game,
Yeah.
and you're seeing now that Nintendo is just going to basically be selling you a $90 key code on a piece of plastic that
The game
requires
case ain't
internet.
even gonna have no booklet in there, no stickers or nothing.
No, nothing. Not
No,
even not
it's
even
just gonna
reversible
be
covers.
plastic wrapped in plastic with a little barcode that you have to install on your Switch, and it goes on the internet and it says, "Hey, this person owns this title and wants to download it off the server." But if you don't have the internet connection, that piece of plastic that you bought from the store at Walmart or Best Buy or GameStop doesn't mean jack tiddly shit.
And keep in
Uh,
mind the Mario Kart bundle. That's a digital game. That's not a
Yeah.
physical. That's a
I, I,
code,
I
baby.
want to I want to see what Will's thoughts on that, because I know he's big in the physical. I know Thrifty's big in the physical. A lot of people are in our group are still going full physical, but I want to see what their thoughts are on with Switch going basically fuck physical and they're going full digital route.
So for game preservation, this is terrible. This is really, really bad news because for a while there, I mean, I didn't think this, but a lot of people did where they thought Nintendo was like the savior when it came to physical. And Nintendo, you know, it's like you can cuddle up with a lion that you raised, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a fucking lion. He's gonna eat your fucking head off as soon as he's hungry. People forget that Nintendo is Nintendo. They can be fucking great on physical collection or physical games right now with the Switch, but as soon as the fucking money talks, they'll drop that shit like a fucking bad habit, and that's what we're seeing now. The positives of this physical with the code in it is the same positive that you've had with physical forever. All right, you can still sell it, trade it, borrow it, throw it down the garbage, do whatever the fuck you want with it. You can still get some sort of return on your investment, which is the
It's
only
still a
thing.
key.
I know, yeah, it's still a key, but you can still do that. Digitally, you can't. Fuck, after 14 days, that shit goes right back to you. It's like a boomerang. Oh, you thought you're gonna get rid of me? Not today. It's like a haunted fucking chair. Fucking chair creaks at night. You throw it in the fucking garbage and right back in your living room by tomorrow. Same shit with
Hmm.
the game. But you can still do those things. You can still trade in at GameStop, whatever, your mom and pop shop. You can sell it. You can borrow it to a friend. Well, that's gonna be another interesting. Can you borrow it to a friend? Because it's that key tied to your fucking profile. Will it always know that it's on your profile? So will they even allow you to trade it in? But let's just assume that they will. So that's at least you still keep that. But as far as game preservation goes, it's done. There is none of that. You unless I mean, fuck, y- the servers go down because people have this fucking idea in their mind that they buy a digital game and it's theirs forever. No, the fuck it's not. It is not yours forever. All it takes is for servers to go down, is for all it takes is for, we saw it with Ubisoft. Nobody's playing it. Servers went down. We're refunding DLC content. The game will no longer work. We see
Hmm.
that shit happening now more and more as time goes on. But I don't want to say I'm insensitive to it because I'm not. That's why I do these will it play with no internet videos. And I can at least hold on to the fact that there's been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of games that have been produced from PS5 gen backwards that I will always be able to dig into. Not every game, but a lot of fucking games. And I will be complacent or not complacent, but I will be at least satisfied for the rest of my life if all I can play is PS3, PS4, and PS5 games, or Xbox 360 games, or Nintendo Switch 1 games, Nintendo 64 games, Super Nintendo games. And it's a sad day. It's a really sad day because now your options are none. It's either this or that. That's it. And for how expensive video games are individually, it's not that expensive. But when you start to accumulate a collection like how I have, or any of us have, right? Because every single person here has hundreds of games, whether it's digital or physical. We all do. It's very important. But this does not surprise me because, like I said, Nintendo will Nintendo, and they're gonna always look for a way to maximize and fill their fucking pockets. But to flip it back on you guys, the people keep saying about the casual market being the majority of the market, which is true. Nintendo has sold 150 million Nintendo Switches. Me and Warwana were talking about this earlier, and I want to get your fucking opinions about this. We are non Nintendo players. I mean, some of us play a little bit. I think I got a total of 20, 30, 40 hours on my Switch. Not much. And I've owned that motherfucker for like 5 years. Henry, I think he's got a Switch too. Oh, RPG does too. So but we don't play on it. We play on the PS5 or Xbox or whatever. But yet, every single one of us owns more than one Switch. Every single one of us who's a non Nintendo gamer still owns more than one fucking Switch.
Has
Why?
owned. I only own one now, but has
Yeah, I was just
owned.
Oh,
about to
you
say
had.
I just
Okay.
got one.
So me
I
and
bought
Warwana,
multiple Switches, but I only own one
so you
now.
only own one. So me and Warwana has three. I have two. Warwana has a regular Switch and two Switch Lites. My son has a regular Switch and a Switch OLED. So just between me and Warwana, there's 5 Switches, right? So why did we do that? Well, because the Switch Lite is 150 bucks, 200 bucks. The Switch is 300 bucks. Switch OLED was 350. Affordable. Okay, cool. Let's just go to Walmart, buy one. Target, what? Buy one. At 450 with $80 games, I won't be buying more than one fucking Switch. I'm gonna be like, hey
Shit.
son, are you done playing yours? Oh, you're going by mom's house. You're keeping that shit here. You know what I mean? But dad, I want to play my. No, fuck that. My turn now. That's how it's gonna be in my household. Because I'm not gonna go ahead and just buy something because it's cheap, like I would have with the regular Switch. Same thing with the games.
Mm-hmm.
I would have bought two copies of the same shit. I've bought in two copies of the same game. Right now, I'm looking at Sonic Superstars. I got one for $10 at fucking Best Buy on the 12 Days of Christmas deal, and then I got one for the PS5 that I bought day one. I won't be doing that for the Switch, because Switch games never go on sale, really. Not day one, not fucking first party games. So to ask you guys the question, do you think that Nintendo is gonna take a hit because and we see it online too, how many guys buy a Switch just because it's a new Zelda edition or because it's the new fucking gold, whatever edition? Because they're cheap. You can buy another Switch for $200-$300. It's cheap. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think Nintendo is going to take a hit with the amount of Switches that people are buying? Do you think they're going to be at 150 million this gen? Or do you think Nintendo's going to bust their nut in the first couple of years and slowly increase their sales numbers?
I think their
Um,
sales numbers are going to be at the end of the
Oh, hey, what's up, Elite
road.
Dragon?
At the end of the road. So let's jump ahead 8 years from now. Do I think they're going to surpass that 150 mark? Yes. Do I think that they're going to start off blazing off the out of the gate like they did with the Nintendo Switch One? I think you looked it up. You said like something like Google said 14 million in the first year.
Yeah, 14 billion first year.
That's left to be seen. But the more that I'm seeing the price, and I'm seeing the price of the console, I'm seeing the price of the game, and in the state of the economy compared to 8 years ago, and how much things cost, how much like like you were saying, your phone bill, your internet bill, your car bill, all that shit. 450 is going to be a hard sell,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be a hard sell for the hardcore, but more for the casual, which casual is the majority. So I could see that
The
being
fuck?
a hard sell.
And also, people were going from the Wii U to the Switch. That was a night and day difference in hardware. Also,
And
the
portability.
and portability, and also the Switch One. That's not going away. They're still going to support that fucking thing because they got 150 million of them motherfuckers out. That's why they did a Switch 2.
Yeah,
So I
they're
just
not going to kill that off.
no.
They're going to kill it off as far as when it comes to Mario Kart, but there's multiple. I mean, we had a Switch Direct last week showing all the Switch games that they're still coming out on the original Switch One.
Which I honestly thought that it was a little weird that they did that direct, but now we understand why. Because hey, let's keep
I think it
fucking
was
milking this.
I think it was purely down to some, well, not purely down, but somewhat contract agreements in the background with the Switch One.
Yeah. Here, let me catch up with these chats before we pass it on to Henry. Elite Dragon says I have a Switch Lite, but also have a PS5 for certain games that I don't want on the Switch. So, Elite, is that your primary source of gaming, the Switch? Michael Sadillo says we have to make our voices heard. Hey, that's what we're doing here, bro. I won't be buying as many. I don't think I'll be buying. Fuck, I don't think I'll buy a Switch till at least Christmas, and that won't be for me. It'll be for my son, and that's if he wants it. But yeah, I'm not gonna be buying. Like right now, I got about 40 Switch games. That's because I was able to get them for cheap, or because it was a game I wanted to play that I never did play. But I won't be making that same thing. I won't be doing the same thing on the Switch too, just because the prices are too high. 449 isn't that bad since the more powerful than Xbox Series S, 4K. No, yeah, we don't think the price of the console is terrible. We actually think it's right where it should have been. We would have been happier with 400, but 450 ain't bad. The real discussion here is the cost of the games. We cannot make this normal no matter what just because it's Nintendo. Hey, let's talk to the Nintendo people, bro. What up, Dizzy? How you doing? Uh, that goes for all these companies because they will follow suit. Hey, that's the discussion we're having, man. It's like these fucking companies see $80. Are they going to continue that with their own platforms, or they're going to stick to what they are doing now and do that increase next gen? We'll just have to wait and see for that. But Henry, what do you think about what I just said about that? A lot of the fucking gamers own fucking multiple switches, and that's what helped boost the numbers because it was so cheap, right? People could just buy a backup switch or a secondary switch or even a third switch just because it was a new edition, a new fucking special, collector's edition switch. And why not? Because for $200, shit, that ain't nothing.
Oh yeah, I agree. And then you also too got to remember. Let's not forget during the pandemic, tons of people ran out and bought switches.
Hmm.
Tons of people ran with Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing did numbers over the pandemic. People rushed out. Well, they didn't rush out, but they bought those games. They bought Among Us went crazy on the Switch, you know. And so it's a lot of things, a lot of variables that played into the success of the OG Switch. It was cheap. You know, it was a situation that hit the whole earth where people was inside the house. In combination of that, they had a couple of games that hit while people was inside the house that you could only play there. You couldn't play Animal Crossing nowhere else. And I think you could only other place you could play Among Us was on PC. You know, and those two games took the earth by storm. And then now it's kind of reverse situation, right? You speak about the economy, it's different. The price of the console itself is different. The price of the games is different. As in more expensive. Times are tough for a lot of people outdoors. During the pandemic, people were getting money for free.
Yeah.
That's not the case. That's not the case right now. People are losing jobs. People are, you
Hey, my
know,
own mother got laid off fucking 2 weeks ago.
you know what I mean. It's a lot of things going on right now to where I don't think will contribute to the success or or and it could be a 40 chess move. Who knows? You know what I mean? They could be pricing it like this to go ahead and get all the rest of these OG Switch consoles about the storage. You know what I'm saying? Because people might be like, well, shit, I might as well just go ahead and, because like you say, the Switch Lite is what 150. OLED is what how much the OLED is. So people might buy multiples of these consoles because they so cheap. It's just the Switch 2 don't have these things in its favor. You know, there's no Switch Lite 2. There's no Switch Lite. I mean, there's no Switch 2 OLED. Because a person, if it was Switch 2 OLED and the Switch 2, a person would sit there and look at both of them and sit there and they'd be like, "Do I really need the OLED?" And they might cop the base, or they might
Hmm.
like, I come from the OG OLED, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go and get this Switch 2 OLED. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you don't have to make that decision right then and there because it's only the one system, and the one system is 450, or you get the bundle for 500. But what if you don't even like Mario Kart? What if you don't like Mario Kart? You gonna just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna get the 450 joint, and I'm gonna play. Um, I'm gonna replay Tears of the Kingdom. I'm gonna replay Breath of the Wild in high fidelity. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going. Overall, I don't think it's gonna be as successful as OG Switch.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna hit them numbers. I don't think it's gonna take the earth by storm because I believe the Switch, OG Switch, was a lightning in the bottle type of thing. You know,
Well,
it
let
was
me
just
ask
a
you guys
combination.
another question too, because we saw something that's different for Nintendo, which is the same reason why I left Nintendo back during the N64 days to GameCube. The reason I left them was because I was starting to get older and there wasn't that many mature games on the Switch as I wanted to get into. That's why I went over to PlayStation. But today, we saw that Nintendo's going heavy with the third party. So the question is, do you think that the Nintendo Switch has now become more of a competitor to the PlayStation because they are more open to third party, more open to mature games? Also, when Call of Duty comes there, it's going to open up the floodgates, and because Xbox is on its way out. So the question is, will Nintendo become more of a competitor because of all those things that I mentioned, or will Nintendo continue to stay in its own lane?
Well, I'll go ahead and
Probably.
jump off in there. Do I think it's gonna be more of a competitor? No, I don't. Just because yeah, sure is getting the third party stuff, and
And mind you, the majority
you
of gamers
know,
are casuals.
sure, the majority of game are casuals, but at the same time, as a casual Call of Duty player, you gonna play that bitch on the Switch or you gonna play that bitch on the five?
I mean, if it's
Where you gonna
60
play it
frames,
at? Listen,
and you can get your kids to
pe-
play Mario and whatever other bullshit.
sure, I hear all that, but no, I'm not going, bro. I'm not going. I'm a casual Call of Duty player, and I got kids. You think I'm finna sacrifice my Call of Duty playing for these little knuckleheads? Hell no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but you got the
I just
money to buy
I
multiples.
just work I just work 14 hours at Amazon. Fuck
Yeah,
them kids.
yeah, but
I'm finna play Call of
remember, Henry,
Duty.
you can't you're not in the position where you can only buy one console and that's it and share it amongst the family. You're in a blessed
Bruh,
position to buy a couple consoles and everybody go do your own shit. Leave me the fuck
but look
alone.
though,
You know what I mean?
but look though. Okay. I'm Johnny. I work at Amazon, and I'm playing Call of Duty on my five. You know what I'm gonna do? My kids want they finna get a fucking $150 Switch Lite. That's what the fuck they finna
Oh
get.
yeah, for sure. But not just that. If I come home and my kid's playing video games, I'm like, it's my fucking turn. Like, step the fuck off.
you,
Like, I don't believe
you
these
see what I'm saying?
motherfuckers be like, oh, my kids are watching TV, so I need to do the portal. Like, nah, you can get the fuck off. Go do your fucking homework. I already did my homework. Then do tomorrow's fucking homework. As a matter of fact, go
You
clean your
mean
fucking room. But
you
my
mean
room
you're
is
not gonna
clean.
come home and you're not gonna let the family
Dictate what the
have the
fuck I do?
TV,
No,
have the TV, and you're just gonna go retreat in your little corner with your
no,
little portal,
no.
and
I'm
you're
not
gonna sit
gonna.
in the corner and not speak up and not run your house like a man? Okay,
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna buy my wife
Oh shit.
lingerie to let the neighbor fuck her. That's not what we doing over here. All right. I don't care if it's my son or the fucking neighbor trying to fuck my wife. That's not what we
My
doing in
boy
this
said,
motherfucker.
y'all do your homework, do tomorrow. So
Nah, you better step in. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But for the families that are a little tight where they can't, they don't have the luxury or and they're in the position right now to be able to do that, you know, I'm because that's what I would do.
but if you doing that, bro, and you tight and you finna spend $450 or 500 on the Switch too.
Well, if I want
If
to
you got
please my kids at the same time as also kind of, it's kind of like how you would like a pizza, right? You buy a pizza, the family eats, there's a slice left, and you sacrifice, right? You're like, you know what, wife, son, daughter, you can have the last slice, even though I'm a little bit hungry, but you know what, you guys come first. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. Like, hey, we have enough to buy a
uh,
console. I can still play Call of Duty. It may not be the best way to play it, but I can still play it and it's not terrible. Also, the kids can play Zelda. The kids can play Nintendo. Shit, the wife can play Animal Party. I don't fucking know.
she
Whatever.
she can play Stardew Valley,
I'm
bro.
just seeing it how I would do it, right? Because if I only had $3, what I would do to feed my family for the day? Well, I would go to Little Caesars, try to hustle up $2 more, and buy a pizza so we can all eat, right? I'm just not gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna buy the cheeseburger I really wanted that cost me $3, and the rest of y'all can go fuck yourselves because I worked all day. I'm not gonna do that. If we can't all go to the movies because I can't afford it, then we're all not going to the movies. We'll rent a movie at home instead. You know what I mean? Coming
Yeah, I
from
get that. I get
from a
that.
position of being broke, and it's like, look, if we can satiate the kids with their games where they can play while I'm at work or whatever, we can split the time. We might as well do it on the one console where all that is possible, right? Because the PlayStation, yeah, you have a lot of that, but you don't have the big bang. I mean, they just got Astrobot, right? But outside of that,
Yeah.
there ain't much out there for them really. But yeah, that's just where I'm coming from. Let me catch up with the chat here, and then we'll continue on what you were saying. I think the pricing Elise says, "Was crazy. I predicted party chat in one of my old videos." Oh, that's what's up, bro. Nostradamus, just like Henry. PS5, I use more than Switch. Okay, I already read that. I think this pricing for both the console and the games will be a gatekeeper for the casual gamer and parents as well. I have a tough time seeing things selling a ton. We all agree with you, bro. The Switch 2 is more powerful than the Xbox Series S, so I think it's becoming competitive. I see it from that standpoint as well, and I also see it that because they are getting like, look, man, we saw fucking Elden Ring, we saw Yakuza. We saw the new one, Borderlands 4 is coming to the Switch. Hogwarts. I mean, all these games that are big hits and people are looking forward to, you can now also play on the Switch. And we know that the casual gamer is only buying 2 to 3 games a year. So if we take all
Yep.
that into account, I just think that I'm not saying it's a straight competitor to the PlayStation, but it's getting closer and it's closer than ever. That's all I'm saying. RPG, what do you think about that? Or I'm sorry, Henry, did you have anything else to say before I cut you off?
Um. No. I don't. I think I had another point, but I forgot. I'll probably remember after RPG if somebody get to talking. I'll probably pop up and then I'll chime in. But I do remember I had something else to say, but I just forget. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I'm more at a loss because more or less I forgot what the question or the topic was, but if somebody wants to clue me in on that one.
Do you think it's a competitor to the current gen consoles?
Competitor, no. But as far as somebody being able to keep maybe keep pace behind, let's say Sony with the PS5 and what they're doing, they seem to be doing, a little bit better job than, the green side because they do have exclusives. They do have a reason to buy their product. They're not selling their shit over onto PC. They're not selling their shit onto their competitors' platform. They still have exclusives, and I don't care what anybody says, exclusives sell consoles. If all these games, especially when it comes to like things that I'm interested in with Zelda, is on the PlayStation 5 or is on the PC in or the Xbox, all and I want to strain this significantly, legally, in the proper way, then
Unscrupulously.
then there's a need for that console because that's the only way I'm going to access those games is through a Switch.
Another way
If you're
too,
going,
because you guys are
say
talking
what?
about let me put this in another way, because you guys are talking about exclusives, and I agree, exclusive is what sells the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that Xbox or PlayStation beat Xbox to a bloody pulp mainly because of exclusive. Xbox for a lot of years there didn't have any fucking thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that. And then you add on all the features the PlayStation has, the DualSense Edge, the performance, all that other crap, right?
Yep.
But Nintendo isn't Xbox. Nintendo has exclusive. A lot of them. Big fucking IPs too. IPs that are crushing PlayStation IP that are more popular
Yep.
than PlayStation IP. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're
Yep.
talking
Yeah,
one
they
on
got
one, right?
Mario and all that.
Yeah. So what's usually the tiebreaker between what type of IP it is, right? Mario versus fucking Last of Us, whatever. But the tiebreaker normally is when both consoles have strong exclusives is the features the hardware itself has, right? The controller, how they run the games, et cetera, et cetera. But
The age
also
range.
the third party exclusivity deals and third party availability. I just explained to you guys, so you cannot dismiss that because I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, except that what I knew was that Nintendo doesn't have mature games. They don't have Grand Theft Auto. It wasn't until later in the gen where they got Resident Evil and shit like that, but by then it was too late. So we cannot sit here and say that there's a person sitting here right now that is saying, I really want to play Mario. I cannot afford to buy both, but I can play 2K, I can play fucking Borderlands, and more games will be coming that I can play on both. I'm going to go ahead and go to Switch. So we cannot sit here and say that it's not a competitor when you can get games for both, that you can play on both. And the tiebreaker really is the exclusive. Who do we have here? Is this Elite? Oh, what up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's up, homie?
Hey, we're just shooting, talking shit about the chat. What do you want to say about the Switch? It does. Mm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Very good point. Very good point. What do you guys have to say about that?
Now that is a good point. To speak to, they're not putting out as much quantity of games. Um, and though the quality is there, the fact that it's so far and few in between, it's not even worth bringing up. Because like I've always said, if you're spending 7-8 years to build a game, the quality ought to be there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm not even gonna go there as far as that's concerned. So if you look at a base, like based on, I mean, just listening to y'all, if you look at it as a base, as if you don't have either, you don't have a five already, you don't have a Switch already, and you just want to play some games. In that sense, sure, it is, a competitor or a rival. If you're not looking at things like performance and the fact that these first party Switch games for the most part gonna be, $70 to $80 and look worse and perform worse. Take all that aside, game for game and for what you're gonna be able to do with the system itself, I can see, yeah, it'll be, I can see how a person would look at each of them and say, hey, okay, this is a real decision to make right here. Even though in some cases right now you can get a digital five for 350, 380. Not, what I mean, but that's not the retail, there's a deal going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So in
I
that
think it'll
sense,
be
I can
retail
get it.
soon too.
But in that sense, I can see how a person could say, yeah, it's a competitor or a rival to, the current gen consoles. Aside from
Ultimately,
like performance, aside from that, because it's not in that sense.
ultimately, I mean, if you're a casual gamer and you're not caring about performance, you're not caring about the quality of your image, and it's just down to brass taxes money, go buy you a Fire Stick, go buy you an Xbox One controller
Oof.
or an Xbox Series controller, get you some Game Pass, and shut the hell up.
But
Because
we can't dismiss that. We can't just say that because that
I
makes no
can
sense.
say that.
No, you can't because there is a difference between a laggy fucking streaming game versus something that's native.
They
And I
don't know
mean,
no better.
but they do because they're the majority. They're the ones who lead the industry, not us. We don't decide. If we did, Nintendo wouldn't be pulling this bullshit. It's the same fuck like Hero told me the other day. Oh, you think the PS5 is a waste? Well, fucking sell it. Was like I still game, and I'm gonna lose way more if I fucking sell it than I keep it.
Shit.
But you can't just be like, well, go buy a fucking Fire Stick and call it.
Go
No.
buy a Fire Stick, go buy a controller, and get you some
Uh,
Game Pass. You'll be
if that
alright.
happens, then gaming is dead.
Oh yeah, I'm in
Shit.
agreement with you.
Then we'll all
That
have
shit
to
was
be
funny,
PC
bro.
gamers,
That shit was
dirty ass PC gamers, fucking jacking off the fucking furry fucking games. Oh, he's already there. Fuck, wearing cat ears and shit, headsets,
shit.
trying to get $1 for doing something strange online.
You playing that
Oh, bro.
shovelware shit.
I wish I could get paid for doing strange shit online, man. These bitches be lucky. But yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Right. It's a lot to be. We're a lot
Oh
of
man.
speculation. We saw some of the specs of the Switch, but we really got to see them in action because on our Discord I shared a clip of when PlayStation did the whole swipe the screen thing to show you 1080p versus 4K whatever, and somebody zoomed in
Hmm.
and it was the same exact shit. Like there was no difference. Same amount of pixels, same amount of frames, like nothing changed. So we will see when we have it in our fucking hands and real gamers can actually put it to the test and see what the fucking
Yeah.
thing can do.
Show me that little YouTuber that's doing the side by side and not this DF Foundry freaking breakdown and it's in a controlled environment. Show me Joe Blow down the street that's got, the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 and he's comparing either one of them. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, there you have it. Elite, do you want to say anything else about this shit, bro? No.
Yet,
The industry leader. You know what I mean? No, yeah, we agree with you. And what I'm really excited to see is how people are gonna go, or how PlayStation and everybody else is gonna go moving forward. How they're gonna price your shit. Because if Ghost of Yote comes out at fucking 80, I'm gonna be like, this is Nintendo's fault. You know what I mean?
You're
But
damn
we'll
right.
see. We'll see what happens when we get there. Oh yeah, that too. But I think GTA was already gonna do their thing anyways. They're big enough to do so. So we'll see. You know, I never thought it was gonna be 100 for GTA, but fuck, now that Nintendo's out here swinging their little ass dick talking about 80, I don't know. GTA has kind of got me a little concerned.
I'm
Yeah, that's what I
wondering
was thinking at
though.
first. I didn't think it was gonna be 100, but now I'm like, ah, shit, it might fuck around and be 100.
Hmm.
I'm wondering though, like the breakdown of the standard versions of games. So let's say like Assassin's Creed, at the $70 mark versus the digital mark, the deluxe digital version at 90. I want I want to know what the breakdown of that was. How many people ordered the standard 70 versus the 90
Of what?
of Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Oh,
Or any game of that aspect, whether
I
it
don't
be
think it's
Elden Ring, whether
many.
it be Cyberpunk, whether I want to know that breakdown, that percentage,
I don't think they've ever broken it down like that, but I don't think it's many. I mean, people
because
normally aren't willing to give extra. I think that's more for the fans, for the hardcore fans where they
because
wanna.
there's a lot of games that I buy the holy shit package out of versus the standard package.
See, I don't buy the holy shit package a lot of the times. If I do, it'll be physical and it's a game that I like. Fuck, I don't even buy collector's editions from PlayStation anymore. I've only bought in two, and one of them was
And
by
it's
accident.
and it's more or less, that's where I'm coming into is like when you're buying the holy shit packages, I'm finding it hard to go back into those things, especially when they include a DLC package, like 6 months to a year down the road. Uh, I was like, oh, I'll just buy the $20 or $30 pack if I'm still interested in playing the game. Like I wasted a lot of money with let's say Assassin's Creed Valhalla with the Ragnarok package because I played it, but I didn't beat it. So that was really money wasted, and I could have saved myself that money by not spending it because I had no interest when that DLC actually dropped.
Yeah, that's why I don't. Well, my reasoning is physical. A lot of these fucking collector's edition and shit don't want to include a physical game, but either way, um, I, I, I don't want to prepay for something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to prepay and
Mhm.
spend fucking
Mhm.
$100 for a DLC that may or may not come, and on top of that, will it be good or not? And we don't even know if the fucking game is good to begin with. And it's just I think the biggest reason that somebody may do it nowadays, get the deluxe edition or whatever, is to play the game
Pre-order bonus.
fucking 2-4 days early, get the pre-order bonus and shit like that. But I don't think these people are numerous. I think that's more of a hardcore gamer thing. Because even my
Yeah.
cousin, who's casual, but he's a huge God of War fan. Like he plays that game twice a year. He just bought the regular edition. He had no interest whatsoever in getting a fucking deluxe or a collector's or none of that shit. And he's one of the most like he can repeat the game to you line by line, all fucking 50 hours of it, or all 80 hours of it, 'cause that's a long ass game. He can do that, but he has no interest in the deluxe. So I'm just applying it from that logic that if somebody like him doesn't give a fuck about the deluxe edition or whatever, I'm sure most casuals don't either. I think it's more of a us thing. But either way, anybody else got anything to say, man? We've been talking about this for 2 hours. I think I'm gonna cut this shit off. But if anybody else got anything to say, speak it. Absolutely. Thank you, Elite, for
For
that, man. Appreciate you for that.
sure.
And let me catch up with the chat real quick. We got Michael here. Now these switch games. We already talked that. Dizzy said, whoever it was. No one can hear. Okay. Trying to sneak that in with all the information that was given today about the Switch too, so they don't want any pushback. Yeah, that's why they didn't bring up the price of the fucking end. Also, the upgrade path, right? Like PlayStation, they come out with a remaster. You can pay $10 to upgrade. We still don't know that fucking pricing, and we think that price is gonna be just as surprising as the game pricing itself because they left it out. If it was $10, they would have been promoting that shit. I think his Wii U and PS Vita situation combined together to make Nintendo Switch 2, which why they flopped to they flopped to understand what not to do when releasing the system. Could be, or it could just be that Nintendo is on their high horse right now and they're riding that success from the Switch One and
If they
understand the situation.
refuse to answer or they hide their answer, then it becomes either you know that there is a problem.
Yeah,
And that's the same thing with the pricing, and it's the same thing with 30 FPS.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's always a reason for this, man. These dudes are multi-billion-dollar corporations. You know, they don't do shit by accident. Everything's got a purpose. Everything's got reason. You know, these corporate fucking assholes, they don't do shit without having an ulterior motive. You know, an accident that's gonna benefit you are really fucking rare. And when they do, they try to backtrack that motherfucker. PlayStation did that too with Horizon Forbidden West. They told us it
Yeah,
would be
they
ten
did.
fucking dollars, and next thing you know, they were hiding that shit in the PS Store. You know, they didn't wanna fulfill that what they said. So we're trying to avoid
Oh,
it.
they got their hand caught in the cookie jar real
Yep.
quick.
So it ain't just a Nintendo thing, it's a everybody thing. So when you hear me talk shit about PlayStation and you're a PlayStation guy, look, man, I love PlayStation and I'm gonna go the hardest on PlayStation because I love them the most. It's like your kids. It hurts you to discipline them, but it's gonna hurt you even more if you don't discipline them and they go out to the world and get fucked up because the world isn't gonna be as forgiving as you are. And as somebody who invests in PlayStation, yeah, I'm gonna speak my mind when it comes to the fuckery because I'm a consumer and I want my money. I want to get what I paid for. And people out here are just so used to it. We can apply this to the Nintendo guys and the PlayStation guys and everybody. Xbox already showed you what they fucking are and what your decisions has led them to be. Now they're a third party fucking publisher because you didn't speak up during the TV era. You kept buying their shit. Now you're surprised that they don't have any fucking games? Of course not. They were planning on season 1 through 30 of fucking Halo and everything else. Fucking Master Cheeks. And y'all still couldn't even say that the TV show was fucking ass. It was fucking ass. Master Chief don't take off his fucking helmet, not even for Cortana's big ass titty. So you're gonna sit
Yeah,
here and tell me that that was
that
legit? Get the
show
fuck
was
out of
ass.
here. The fuck out of here, dude. But anyway, that's all we got for y'all today, man. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Shout out to Elite Dragon for showing up. Elite, the people said that they didn't
For
hear you,
sure.
so you're gonna have to change your setting, your mic to allow your party voice to be shared. The way you do that is by going to the settings. That way, next time you hop on, they can hear you. We heard you. So I appreciate you for coming through, my guy. Henry, thank you so much for showing up.
Yes,
RPG,
sir.
same thing to you guys, man. You guys really had a great time with you guys tonight, man. It was good to talk about the Switch. And is anybody here getting the Switch year one?
Year
It depends
one,
on what
yes.
come out.
What was that, Elite?
It depends on what games are there at launch.
Yeah, fact. RPG maybe for you?
Yeah, it's a year one definitely because I want to play Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom at 60. But other than that, that's really going to be up to the Nintendo person in the household and if it really is interested in, or if she's really interested in it and what games it has to offer. But other than those two games that I'm really interested in, we'll see. We'll see what summer brings.
What about you, Henry? Are you interested in getting it year one?
Nope.
No. And then
The soonest I probably get it probably like December, if at all.
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm really waiting
Yeah.
to see.
Other than that, it's like, man, because like I said, with the games they showed now, none of those are coming out at launch that I'm interested in. I mean, none of the ones that I'm interested in are popping up at launch. So it's definitely not a day one.
Yeah, the only game I'm interested in is the games that I already have that I would like to play with better, performance, which is Zelda, and I would like to see a fucking Pokemon Scarlet Violet fucking upgrade because that shit runs like ass. But it's
A lot of
literally
games run like ass on that bitch.
true. But like we said in the beginning, all Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2 is catching y'all up to the modern era of gaming. That's it. They're not doing anything above it. They're now
Catching
on
up but
par,
not keeping up.
catching up but not keeping
Mm.
up. And they want to charge you for catching up. Ain't that some shit? You're in last place in hardware, fucking performance, and because you now caught up to first place, you want the fucking trophy.
And
Ain't that
charge
some
you
shit?
for an Astrobot Playroom bootleg.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh my god, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, there y'all have it, man. Thanks so
Yep.
much for being here. We're definitely going to be talking about the Switch 2 on our Sunday episode of the State of Gaming podcast with my co-host Nelson Gaming Culture. He's at work today, hence why he couldn't be here today. We do these impromptu shows whenever there's a showcase. We did it last with the PlayStation showcase. I think you were here as well, right, Henry? Or did you
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
that one? He was here. RPG was
Oh, no, I
here.
was here.
So these guys are here. So next time there's a showcase, which hey, the rumor is for the millionth fucking rumor that PlayStation is
Shout out
coming
Jeff
with a
Grubb.
showcase. Shout out to Jeff Crow with his fucking rumor and ass. Same fucking guy that's like, yeah, I'm buying the Switch day one. It's the perfect fucking price. Like, shut your begging ass up. Like these motherfuckers always talk about price because they don't pay for shit. Because they play the game for 3 fucking hours and they get a review code. Like, motherfucker, you don't buy shit, you don't pay for shit, you don't get no pussy, you don't know how to write well, your fucking rumors ain't shit, you probably smell like
Trash.
shit, your breath stank, you ain't get no bitches, you talk to bitches at work, but you don't fuck none of them. Like, you're weak as fuck. Most relationships start at work. How the fuck do most relationships start at work, but you can't fuck no bitch from work? Shut your weak ass up. All right, y'all, we'll catch you in the next one. Keep it gaming.
Oh, shit.